Hello, everyone. Today on Lisa's List, we are going to talk about you should know your realtor. So stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lisa's List. I'm Lisa Patterson with Daniel Ravenel Sotheby's International Realty in beautiful historic Charleston, South Carolina. And I had something else planned for this weekend, but there's a subject that has come up that I hear about a lot, and I heard about it a little too much this past week, and it kind of put me over the top a little bit. So I wanted to talk about it. And it's you should know your realtor. I have found out over the years just horrible stories that I hear from clients. Maybe I meet them on their second go round of purchasing a house, or when they go to sell, or maybe I just end up meeting them through something in the community after they've purchased a home and we get to be friends. And I hear horrible tales and stories of what they went through. And I've discovered sometime, this is horrible to say, but clients sometimes do more research on buying an appliance for their kitchen or a car than they do on who they pick to make the purchase or sale of the biggest investment they own, which is their home. So I wanted to go over a few things that I really think everyone needs to know. I really like my clients to be highly educated before they make decisions on purchasing property. 95% of my clients, and probably more, and the same for other agents in Charleston, come from out of state. So they don't really know Charleston. Maybe they've been here on vacation. Maybe they have a friend that's moved here recently, or some of them's never been before. So right off out the gate, they know nothing about Charleston. So they really need to be educated. I spend a lot of time educating my clients via phone and email and conference calls and Zoom calls like this and video on my website, so that they are very familiar with what they need to know about Charleston before they move here. And I find out that a lot of agents do not do that, and it's not beneficial to the client. Majority, I sell all over Charleston, know it very well, but a majority of my clients buy downtown in the historic district. And let me just tell you something right there. When you say downtown, historic district, historic properties, different areas of downtown Charleston, that is a whole nother animal. And you really need to be educated on that. And you really need to have an agent that knows that area, knows that market, knows how to sell it, knows how to negotiate those houses, and knows a million other things about that area. So that's some of the things we're going to talk about, because it's things that I've heard from people after they've purchased and had a disastrous story to tell me. And that is what happens. I find out from people, they just go online, they pick an agent. Maybe they had a good video. They might have had a nice video about Charleston. They might have had a nice video, marketing video, might have had a nice website. That does not mean that they know downtown Charleston. It just means they're a real estate agent and they're doing some marketing. I find many times, because I attend all my showings for all my listings, whether it's my client or not, I attend so I can answer questions. And I do that as a service to my clients. And I find many times I have agents show up with clients. That agent does not sell downtown in the historic district, and they can't answer any of the questions, and they don't know about many of the key factors you need to know about downtown. I am sorry. I am probably going to get a lot of flack for doing this video, but I am very sorry, but that is just a disservice to the client, and I get very upset about it. A couple of things I want to talk about downtown. One thing downtown, it is not apples to apples, it's apples to oranges. And you can have three houses on the same street with same square footage, and they're going to be major difference in price points for many different reasons. The year the house was built, does it have any historic value to the city? Has it been renovated? Has it not? Does it have parking? Is it a wood siding house? Is it a stucco house or brick house? All of those play into factor, and you need to educate your clients on that. The other thing, the big thing, is flooding. Flooding downtown can be a problem. We have areas that flood during a hurricane. We have flooded areas that's just nuisance flooding due to heavy rains. We have areas that have been filled in over the years. It's going to get groundwater. And then you have the areas that do not flood at all. And that is a major concern for clients. And if you're working with someone that does not know those areas, you could have a problem. I have met people that have purchased homes that they didn't realize that they flooded. They've had water in them. I know downtown very well. I save my clients a lot of time when they send me listings they want to look at. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to disclose to you right now, that house has had water in it. That house has had water under it. That's a good place, sometime occasionally on the street. So you have to work with someone that knows that. The other thing about the flooding issue is helping your client understand the different areas and the flood zones here in Charleston. Just because you're in an AE flood zone, and I've done another video on this with Pat Condon at King Street Insurance, doesn't mean that's a bad thing. It's all about the elevation. So these are very important things to know. I've had agents that do not sell downtown bring a client by one of my listings and they talk about other things they're looking at. And I will tell them right up front, well, my listing does not flood. You might want to do some checking on that. I know it's flooded before. And they say, well, it's not on the property disclosure. I'm not saying that people are not honest on their property disclosure, but the question on the property disclosure is, did you have a FEMA claim? It doesn't ask if your house flooded. Did you have a FEMA claim? Many people here in Charleston do not carry flood insurance. If their home is paid for, they're not required to carry it, and they're just self-insured. Some of them may have had flooding and didn't have a real large claim, even if they had flood insurance, and it wasn't worth the deductible, so they just don't claim it. So that's another thing to be careful about when you're purchasing in downtown Charleston. Then you have to worry about things, not really worry, but just be educated on the Board of Architectural Review. What can you do to that house when you purchase it if you're going to do a renovation? Does it have a historic easement on the outside, the interior? Who holds that easement? You know, I work with Preservation and Historic Charleston Foundation all the time when I'm selling houses downtown, going through the easement, getting them explained. Again, there's another video on my website about historic easements with the Historic Charleston Foundation. These are things you need to know. You know, we talked about the square footage, we talked about renovations. The other thing that I find with agents that do not sell downtown, many of them are advertising in places, let's say Zillow, for example. I find that clients do not understand really how Zillow works. And I'm going to tell you, Zillow works, all of our information from our multiple listing service is fed to Zillow. So they have all the information. They come back to the agents and they charge us to advertise there. Depending on how much you advertise, which, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5,000, sometime more per month, is how often you pop up when clients are searching. And it seems like everyone wants to go to Zillow and search. I will tell you, Zillow's information is not always correct. That agent pops up. I have people all the time, so I thought I was calling the listing agent. 99% of the time, they're not the listing agent. And a very large portion of the time, they don't even sell in downtown Charleston. They may be an agent that sells Mount Pleasant, North Charleston, wherever. They may be a newer agent trying to get business, and they haven't even sold $1 million in real estate yet. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those agents. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone has their price points they sell in. They may be an agent that only sells $200,000 and $300,000 homes in Somerville. But what happens? Someone clicks on them. They start talking to them. They want to buy downtown historic Charleston, and you just have an agent at that point that doesn't know that market, doesn't know these houses, doesn't know the area well enough. And you could have a problem. Not meaning it's a bad agent, it's just they don't know that area. So really be very careful of that. Regardless of who you use, make sure you know this information. I live in the historic district. I know the historic district. I've restored over 37 historic properties. If you ever just have a question, please call me. I'm happy to help. You know, it's our job to look out for the general public. And I have repeat clients all the time. I have clients that refer other people to me, and I have other agents that refer people to me from different areas. So that tells me I do a good job when I get a lot of referrals and a lot of repeat business. And I want everyone to be educated on what they're doing. I don't want them to have a bad experience. I don't want them to end up in a home that has an issue or a problem. I don't want them overpaying for a home. I also don't want them losing a home because they're not educated enough to make the right decision on what to offer. So these are things to really think about. And again, if you have any questions, please give me a call. And until next time on Lisa's List.